Hey, welcome back to another episode of Maintenance with Mike. So today we're still in the garage. We're just going to start to take apart the back of the rear deck of the Tracker Pro Guide. So I want to show you where all the screws are hidden and how to take that apart to get access to the bottom part of the deck here. So we want to install a fuel filter for the big motor and the kicker motor. A Sierra filter so that both run off of the main tank, as well as a swim platform and a battery charger and some things. So anyway, let's get started. So this is the back area of the deck that we want to remove. So basically it runs all along here, over to here, up. I'm thinking that this big bulkhead that runs all the way to the front and holds up the windshield is cut here and divided. If not, I'm going to be really upset. So anyway, we're trying to take this whole section off here so that we can get access to the inside of the transom to put some plates for the swim platform, as well as some plates for the kicker motor. And then we're going to put the battery charger in here, and the fuel filter, I might make it accessible from removing this seating post to spin the filter off. I am not too sure yet. So right now we're going to work on this corner here. The nice thing about these screws is they're actually you can use either Phillips or Robertson. They're a self-tapping screw, stainless, so almost impossible to find with a magnet. Well, literally impossible to find with a magnet. Definitely want to strip those, but you can see there are some longer ones and some shorter ones. I have no idea as of yet what the rhyme or reason is here. I guess what we'll do is we'll take a picture of this once we get them all out, so we know which ones are the long ones and which ones are the short ones. It definitely takes some digging to find out. What I ended up doing is using a small screwdriver and just tapping all the way around, and then when you get to where there is, you can feel them sometimes too. They're really well hidden though in this carpet for sure. You can hear the difference in the sound. So also I'm assuming that I see there's a number of screws in here on the bottom of this bulkhead. I would think that this deck slides underneath that, and there's probably screws in the corners underneath here. So we'll have to take this off as well. So this is just to show everyone all the screws that I found in the bottom part of the deck. So this will show you where I found screws. Definitely not a pattern here, because you can see up there's two screws that were found on that side, and there's only these two screws here. There's nothing up here on this side for whatever reason. You can see that's loose. So anyway, those are the only screws that are the Robertson / Phillips combo screws. And these ones here that are holding this bulkhead underneath the gunnel are only Phillips for whatever reason. And then these would be for your plug-in stern light. So those are Phillips as well. So we'll take all those out, and we'll show you where we find these ones on the bulkhead as well. Okay, so this is what I'm up against. Here is a picture of the screws that I took out of the side bulkhead piece. Two screws up here. This is just a stainless wood screw into the wood that's here. So this is for the bimini top. That doesn't go through into any sort of frame. So you see this line that I've drawn sort of here with the screwdriver. If I push on this, this whole piece is moving. This is I can't feel any separation here at all. where these two pieces meet. Okay, it looks like I've basically picked up each of these sides here and looked underneath here, and it definitely goes underneath this. Removing that is a huge deal. That piece, like I said, goes all the way to the front of the boat. It's going to be a tough piece to take out. So my thought is, our best bet is to cut this piece here and just make a seam here where these two pieces meet. Then I can lift this up, pull it out, is my thought. I can't think, and it's mostly covered, this piece gets mostly covered by this chair. So all you'll see is like a line here. Then I can lift this piece, undo all these screws, lift this piece up, pull it out from underneath there. I think that's really our best bet, to be honest. I can't see how that taking apart these big bulkheads on the side are going to be any easier at all. That goes all the way up to the front and underneath the windshield piece. Obviously this side has the control as well, so that's not going to be fun by any stretch. I think the best bet is to cut this here, and then you can basically lift each of these pieces up and pull it out. And like I said, it's mostly covered by this chair plate. So what I've decided to do here is I'm going to cut this piece so I can take this out in two pieces. For me, that's the best option, I believe. I don't think there's really any better way to do it. Just gonna screw these in so they don't move. This will allow me for better access in the future. Like I said, I plan on mounting a filter right here, so that when you pull this pedestal off, you'll be able to reach in here and unscrew that filter and pull it out. Or unscrew it and then put it down, and you can actually grab it through this access hatch here. And this is where the main gas line connects right here. So having the filter here, reconnecting the main line to the filter piece, and then connecting the kicker motor to that as well would work great. So that's my thought. So I'm just going to go on the one side of this screw here, not to mess that up. So it's just going to be off-centered a little bit, just because there's a fastening screw here for the winter cover that I don't want to get in the way of. We're going to cut the carpet first. So I don't destroy the carpet while I'm doing this. I should probably screw these all in. So they're not in the way. And then I can actually do it this way and use my right hand. So hopefully that's cutting in there a little bit. And then I'm hoping to use the saw and just cut through, hold it here and cut through, so I don't damage the carpet too much, so you don't really see where I've actually cut the carpet. Probably just the regular blade. This one here. And we'll just put it like this and cut through. Prop that up so we don't have any damage here. Cut through there. Cut through this side, and then hopefully we can pick it out of there. So let's hold it this way, and we will do that. We'll just cut like this. We'll unplug the charger for now. Steal that power. Vacuum that out after. Let's just finish the cut here. So that's that one. Now we'll cut this way. That's it. So that's through there. You can see once that's down, you're not even going to notice that this has been cut. Now, the moment of truth, I guess, is to find out if we can take one of these side doors here. Oh. So it looks like, I guess they think that these are never going to go apart. So there is actually an aluminum rail that's screwed. It's a 90-degree rail like this. And it's screwed into the plywood so that these screws screw through it and hold the sides. So, yeah. Okay, so what I've resorted to doing now is I've started taking, there's screws top and bottom that go all the way along this rail, right underneath the helm. And then there's some three, looks like 1/4 inch or nut driver screws, 1, 2, 3 that go through into the gunnel piece. So I'm gonna undo those now, and then hopefully I can pull this whole thing away and try to figure out, I want to figure out a way to separate. This is aluminum behind here. It's not plywood. It's aluminum. And what they've done is there's an L bracket that's screwed to the plywood on the inside, so that The plywood sits there, this drops on, these screw in through into the L bracket. So I'm going to show you something here. So here's the back deck piece that basically I'm trying to take off, and I'm hoping to slide it out from underneath this bulkhead. But upon a closer look, there's a steel rail. You can see it there. The steel rail that runs from the front to the back, that this piece screws into, runs the full length. Okay, so we have a bit of success here. So basically I undid all the screws along the bottom of this rail and all the screws along the top, and there's 3 large not Allen screw, hex bolts. You'll see them sitting right there. They go through this windshield piece into the gunnels. So as soon as you take those out, you can actually pull this piece from underneath the gunnel. And you can see here's all the tabs where they have all the top pieces bolted in. So that's good. But what I want to look at specifically here to show you, you'll see in here the rail that I was talking about. So the rail is this piece right here. And so the rail is this piece here, and it runs front to back all along here, and that allows the side panel to screw into the rail. So what I'm thinking of doing is, so I can slide this piece of plywood out, is just undo these screws in this rail. There's only 2, and that's a pretty beefy rail. Yeah, I think we're going to be able to work with this. I think I'm just going to undo these screws, and we're going to slide that plywood out, and then we're going to try to work with this the way it is. I don't think we're going to have any problems here. Okay, so we've basically pulled this piece out now. We've undone the 2 screws that go through that angle bracket into the plywood. So we can put this back in place. That angle bracket is still there, it's just not bolted to the plywood, so that'll hold these side panels here. Well, there we have it. As soon as I undid the last screw that was holding up the rail here, I was able to pull this right out of here now. So basically that gives you full access to the back. So now we're sort of back in business here again. Screw all this back down. Screw these pieces back into that rail, and we're good. And then all we need to do to get access to the fuel filter or whatever is undo these deck screws and slide it out from underneath here. So that works. I like it. Now we should be able to put these screws back into the 90-degree bracket, which will hold it, which are these Phillips ones. Obviously there's quite a few more than we need. There's like 3 or 4 that have to go in here, but if we just start a few. So that's back on now, that's solid now. This is screwed to that 90-degree bracket that's still underneath here that runs basically the whole length. I'll put one more screw in here just to make sure. Okay, so that's in. We should be able to take our piece now. Put it down on the deck like this. It should slide under this piece now. And attach back up here. That looks promising. Probably should run a screw in there. But that's basically this is back on now, where the two halves join up. As you can see, we're back together in the center here as well. That was where we cut that and made the seam. Once that's all tightened down, you're not even gonna see that piece. We'll cover it all up there. And so let's take the screws out the other side. And same sort of scenario. I have a greater respect to why they taught us cleanup in kindergarten. For sure. So there's bolts all along here. Like I said, use your screwdriver to try to find them, but I think it's based on the individual putting them in. There's some in the top, you can see them. And then there's 3 hex bolts that hold the windshield piece to the gunnel that you have to undo, which you saw on the other side. I showed those coming out. Very good. Hopefully we can get that out without stripping it. Yeah, you don't want to strip these because I'm not too sure exactly the best scenario. I guess you'd have to drill the head off, which would not be fun. Looks like there's, in my case, I've got 2 hidden underneath here. Underneath here, I've got 2 of them hidden. One right here. And the other one's right here. It's a 5/16 nut driver for those hex bolts. The 3 that go into the gunnel. These are not fun to get out, but hopefully they will cooperate. To hide these. So I couldn't figure out why this side was giving me so much grief. I had started the top bulkhead, it was coming out, and then I realized for whatever reason on this side they put a screw underneath the helm piece, which they did not do on the other side. So I'm just in the process of drilling that out because it's stripped, of course. I'm going to drill that out and then we should be able to get this bulkhead off. So as you can see, this side here came off much easier. Just basically once I undid the screws, I loosened the helm bolts up and I could pull this piece right out. So yeah, so we got full access to undo these screws here now. Basically what we have to do on this side is just unscrew, because this is the deck that we want to remove, just this piece here. So there's only 2 screws that hold this down. Once we take those screws out of this angle iron, it allows us to slide this piece in and out now. And this piece is very rigid aluminum, so it basically gets held in place by being screwed through here just for this last 16 inches or so. So that's going to work out great. So that's removing the rear deck on a Tracker Pro Guide, with allowing you to have those 2 decks now removable for access for mounting swim platforms, kicker motors, wiring to the helm, a number of things, tying in the kicker motor to the main fuel tank with a separate fuel filter. It's going to give us a lot of access now with, this was probably a good 5 or 6 hours getting these side pieces off and all the screws out. I don't want to have to do that in the future, so just having it so that you can remove half at a time with it being covered from the center seat here is going to work great. Hopefully you find these videos helpful. If you do, consider subscribing to the channel, maybe share them with a family member or friend, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.